Hello and welcome to the show. I'm here today on BeamNG Drive taking a look at a really rather cool map. This is the Dust Bowl, a track designed to destroy even the best off-road vehicles. Now, of course, we have the Endurodrome that is a great circuit for gradually destroying cars. Even, big off-road vehicles get gradually destroyed around there, but normal everyday cars can drive around it. This circuit is mean. It's, got like a little green screen. There's a really cool little idea, this. There is a full campaign that comes with it and some scenarios as well. It's sort of like a once-a-year competition where you have to try and race vehicles around, complete laps and so on of the circuit. The circuit is a mean one. I do love the details. I love the little details. You've got this pit complex here going on. Which is just a nice, neat little way of starting things. You've got little grandstands. This is the sort of start line. I quite like that little green screen room. I hadn't seen that before. This is our little start line here. The course unfolds ahead of us. There's a guy up there. That's a neat little effect. They've got a spectator with, I guess, like a blinking light, but it's so to try and make a photograph. That's really neat. I like that. As you can see, this is the course. It's a lovely detailed course. Quite motorstormy vibes going on with this, as we shall set off and get underway. Now, I've got a Roma here. This is a pretty beefy off-road vehicle. For our first lap, I'm going to not take any of the big jumps. There are plenty of big jumps around here. There are also plenty of alternate routes if you want. I'm going to go for the let's not take any big jump routes and see what condition the Roma ends up in after all of that. I'm going to hazard a guess at probably still fairly battered. And remember, this is a vehicle that is, well, designed to be tough. It is designed to be going off-road, dealing with punishing terrain. This place here is a place you will want to get airtime. There is some debris down there, and if you don't jump far enough, you land in it. It can punch your tyres or snap important bits, so probably a good idea to make sure you've jumped at least clear enough of that. Oh, big two a moment for us. Now, we could go across the jump, or I could try and be sneaky. You can kind of split these two routes here to avoid all of the worst of the airtime, essentially. It's a little sneaky. Down here, does clonk the front a tad, but nothing too terrible. The flamethrowers also of note. If you park underneath them, you get very hot. They will overheat your engine, so don't have a crash or don't have trouble right by one, because that's going to give you grief in the I say in the long run. In the very short term, in fact, that will give you grief. Shall we go up here? So this is just a little, it's not really a jump, it takes you a slight alternate route. Now, the whole idea of this, of course, is you could rock crawl your way around here, but if you are trying to do, oh wow, okay, so that's gone past the flamethrower, you can see how the temperature shoots up. You could go rock crawl, you could go very sensible in terms of your speed around here. It's more fun in many ways to treat it like a time trial. There are time trial scenarios for it if you want to do those. I'm just doing this because I can roll my Jeep back over again with a node grabber in case things go wrong, but yeah, it's more fun to treat it as a time trial when there is that little bit of risk. Trying to go, well, you can't go flat out the entire place, it's way too technical. Oh no! Roma! Fall back, oh bugger. It was going so well, and then it didn't. Oh, I also pulled it by the door rather than the top of the frame, but never mind. Oh, and down we go. This is the safer path. I know it doesn't look it, but trust me, that's the safer path. And then we come out across the little sort of lava. Them bits aren't hot, it's just the flamethrowers that you've got to watch out for there. Now we're into another little section. Again, multiple routes around this. There are sort of different obstacles depending on what way you go. Apparently that's going to be a big jump that I thought there was. That's clonked the radiator. Okay, I was saying I wasn't going to take jumps, but apparently we're going to take that one slightly. We're going to have to jump. This bit here's another bit you're going to have to get airtime off to get over. That made another nasty sound, but we have still got steering. And that will be the end of a lap. We have made it. That was a fairly safe lap. It was a fairly safe lap in a strong car. So what I'm going to do is we will reset the vehicle, get it all fixed up. In fact, you can see by the temperature there, we are not starting with preheated engines. We're not starting with a preheated engine, and that's how hot it got in a lap. Now I'm going to see if the Roma can stand a chance of surviving taking as many jumps as we can. Of course, there are places like this, we could only take, you know, one of the jumps. But how is it going to fare when we deal with basically all of the rough stuff? We'll try to take basically as different a route as we can. There is this little path. The radiator's already gone. Christ. There's this little path up here, which makes for a fun little canyon. You're going to probably want a decent, powerful car if you want to take that particular route, because it's quite steep, and then the downward slope, that's quite scary as well. Shall we go for another jump? I mean, we want to go a little bit fast, just not too fast. We want to go fast enough. So little cars can get through that. Big SUVs are a no. So this thing is a no. We are bouncing our way around. Temperature gauge is a massive concern currently, because I've got no radiator to even help cool it down when we're not going through the fire stuff. So, fun times. Another big jump, thankfully. We have got the front of the vehicle. We basically need the front of the vehicle to be up. We need the front of the Roma to stay up in the air, because if we land on the nose, that's when we're going to do damage. The ramps do seem to be pretty well designed to make sure that the vehicles fly in a fairly sensible manner. So if you do want to go for the spectacular, if you do want to go for the airtime route, you might get away with it. I've got a lot of suspension damage to the front. The front right of this is an unhappy vehicle. It's a very unhappy vehicle. Now we took that path last time. It's not really a jump up there, it's just an alternate path. Anyways, broken suspension, that's a lot scarier. Oh, so is that little crevasse we've got to cross. Come on, across the next jump we go. That's good. More bouncing. We've got two doors open at this point. Yeah, we've really collapsed suspension. Again, remember, this is the heavy-duty vehicle. This is the heavy-duty off-road vehicle, and we've got massive problems, and we're only half a lap in. Oh, that suspension's going to roll us. I forgot about this downhill bit being so steep. Please, get away with it. Thank God for that. I'm really worried about wheel axle now, because we're coming up towards another jump. Here we go. Oh, we've overshot massively. Oh, we've actually killed the engine. Oh, no. Oh, no, indeed. That is a very, very poorly Roma. That is a very poorly Roma. I did not think about overshooting that jump quite so much. So, as you can see, it is a very punishing circuit. It is a very punishing circuit. Now, what we're going to do is get something a little less suitable and just try and survive. So, our vehicle of choice is the Custom Grand Marshal. This supercharged V8, rather large saloon car. Not really designed for off-roading, rear-wheel drive, lots of power, no fancy diffs or anything, but we do know at least the Grand Marshal is a pretty sturdy car. This is a pretty strong vehicle. It'll take a fair amount of punishment. Christ, do not go near those flamethrowers. That almost maxed out the temperature immediately. Maybe we'll go through here. I'm not sure that really cooled us down as much as I was hoping it to. I'll be honest there. And also, you risk naturally flooding the engine. Now, this, I think we might actually want to be a little bit careful. There are places where sort of like the rocks and some of the sort of like little steps, I don't know how better to describe them, may well cause grief for a car like this, because it's just not got the ride height, it's not got the suspension to deal with them. The water is still probably a better option down here. Try to stick to the edge of the water, get us through as best as possible, and try not completely and utterly burn our engine to bits. Jesus, those flamethrowers. Can we get through here with the Grand Marshal? Only just, though. I don't know if there are any bonus points whatsoever for doing that. However, I mean, you can make up your own bonus point scale if you want to go around here. So to kind of award drivers, or award taking the jumps over playing it safe and like going for that sort of gap and keeping the cars going. I think maybe those flamethrowers are getting the engine so hot that it is doing damage, because I haven't been over revving this one at all. I don't think it would even happen on this. So I think maybe as you go through those flames, they cause grief. These are the steps I'm worried about. They've taken out the radiator. They've We've also taken out our bumper, which is wedged under the back of the car. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on, handbrake. We're going to need to free that, because that was seriously hindering the old... Oh. Okay, no, never mind. I thought there was something else stuck under there. No, it's just the rear bumper's slightly buckled. Can we make a lap with, with the Grand Marshal? Oh, I'm really worried. I knew the flamethrowers did a bit of problem. I didn't realise just quite how much of a problem they could become. They will certainly make it tough for vehicles surviving. I mean, we're going to avoid that one as best as we can. You just drive past it and it spikes the temperature of the vehicle. The Grand Marshal engine is pretty solid at surviving. The old the old overheating, it does do fairly well, though perhaps not the high-powered supercharged version. Now we are going to have to... Oh, that's not fun. I didn't want to go backwards down here. I was trying to get the vehicle positioned nicely just to go slowly down here. I think we're beached, unless we can somehow find a way out. No, we are beached. Right, we're going to have to get the tow hook, drop the car down the cliff some more. Perfect! Perfect, we've made it. The long overhang's not ideal. If you're going to try and not cheat with a node grabber, the long overhangs on this car are a little bit problematic. Oh, there we go. We are through. I probably wanted to fall down that hole, because we're going to have to take a jump now. Come on, Grand Marshal. I mean, the radiator's gone. Can't really get much worse in terms of that. I guess we could lose steering or suspension. I guess that would be worse. Now, through the flames quickly. I wonder if letting off the throttle as you go through the flames, that's probably not a bad idea, actually. Try and keep the engine a little bit more alive. I could potentially even turn the engine off, coast it, and then turn it back on again. Well, I guess you also run the risk of it not turning back on, depending on what you've done in terms of damage. Oh, we're going to just topple over the edge there, aren't we? Oh, I wanted to actually reverse up to try and take the jump. We got the chassis on the floor already. I fear we might have. Come on, Grand Marshal. Actually, it's doing better than I thought it was going to do. I did think this was going to have bigger issues. We've had to take a couple of jumps even. So yeah, it's doing pretty well. That's going to hurt, though. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Engine. Are we good? The chassis not. We have bent the chassis at all sorts of wonky... That's a tree. No, it's stolen some of my car. That's fine. There's no problems at all with that. Steal some of the car. Now, let's see if we can go for another lap. Let's see if we can go. Just coast through. I don't know if it's coasting's better or coasting's worse. Like, coasting, we won't be putting any power down to overheat it, but we'll also be going... We'll spend more time next to them. So I don't know which way it's going to go, which way is better. I don't actually want to go across the rocks anymore, because I really fear for this car in terms of its ride height. Really, at the front, it's all buckled and twisted. So let's avoid the rocks where we can. There's some places where we just can't. So yeah, we'll have to hope. Well, we can try and jump past them. I guess that's what we're going to have to do on this lab. We're going to go for the jump past the water. Come on, Grand Marshal. I guess the only thing we can do now is knock the engine out in its entirety. That is something that can happen to the car. Or we lose a wheel axle, we lose steering, lose driver. There's lots of things that can kill the car. I think overheating is most likely at this... I say that. There's a lot of things that can still kill it around here. We're going to have to take the safe option here if we can. Don't want to get stuck in the sand. Get stuck in the sand, we've just got to work the engine harder. Just got to rev the engine more. Oh, that's clonked a rock on the back of the vehicle. I actually think we might have to start taking the jumps up here to avoid getting it stuck in the middle bit, although we're really struggling to climb up here. Please be able to jump far enough, car. Okay, didn't have to jump too far at all of that. That ramp's never going to put us across. That's just gonna dump us into the ground down here. Not going to put us across these steps, which are painful. Got through that. Engine's very, very unhappy with me. I can't say I blame it. There was the front bumper. The rear bumper is still clinging on to life. I mean, only just, but it is still clinging on to to some form of life. That's a horrible rock. I think I've hit it with just about everything. But it's not snapped the steering, even if we are pulling very badly to the left. Come on, get through there. It's now a constant fight to keep the car going in a straight line. Well, it doesn't really matter anymore. Makes no difference to the temperature. It's going to be off the chart, whatever we do, pretty much. Come on, engine. Can we really realistically make it a second lap? That's probably asking a lot. That's probably asking an awful lot from the car, but we're going to give it a damn good shot here. Right, onto the big downward rock slide. We've smashed the front. We've lost steering in the left-hand side. Okay, here we go. Grand Marshal, please jump over these steps. Jump far enough. There we go. Okay, you are at least over them. Not in great condition, but you have cleared the steps that I had a horrible feeling you'd get beached on. So, that's progress. Down a horrible pit we go. No front left wheel anymore. Amazingly, no... Okay, the oil's overheating. No front left wheel doesn't really affect this car as much as you would expect. You know? Oh, the front left tyre's gone. That doesn't matter. The front left wheel axle's all disconnected. Oh, we're going to beach it, and that means I'm going to have to try and pull it over across this with a node grabber. It's going to cost it some more time. With the engine sat there getting hot. Come on, I know pulling you by the bonnet, but that's fine. I think we're allowed to do that. Oh, no. I think these rocks might be the death of it, because it's just going to be a stop, pull the car across, because it's beached again. There we go. Come on. Can't drive across that. That thing's very solid. Come on. Come on. Find some traction. Maybe off-road tyres would be a good idea. Off-road tyres for your vehicle. On it for just for the grip. Just for the grip is probably not a bad idea. Trying to get to that outer edge. No! No! Oh, I think that's the engine maybe gone. Is it? No, the engine is still on. I thought it said engine turn... Oh, the engine is off. Never mind. Oh, that's it. That's the engine killed. It survived pretty well. It wasn't quite going to make... Well, it wouldn't quite get onto its second lap. It's just... Once that radiator's gone, it's just going to get so hot. The Grand Marshal does do pretty well as a vehicle for running with an overheating engine. Oh, it does look like quite it's a sad sight, that one. Now, for an everyday car, you know, that's not too shabby. That's not too shabby a performance around here. But yeah, this is a really, really cool map. This is a really cool map. Let's go for a little bit of a fly around from up here. Looks fantastic. Looks absolutely glorious. There is a volcano as well. You can go and, well, sort of visit. I guess maybe you could rock climb your way up there if you wanted to. Fantastic looking map. A really interesting one to drive around. A highly, highly destructive one. I mean, this will test the toughest off-roaders trying to do multiple laps around here. The flamethrowers getting vehicles, you know, very, very hot does really put a stress on their engine, even without the radiators going. When they do go, yeah, it's going to be real tough to keep the vehicles running. I do very highly recommend this map. It's fantastic styling. Something a little bit different, and certainly something that, yeah, will challenge whatever sort of vehicle. Whether you want to just try and make a lap in a normal car like this one, or whether you want to really see how long incredibly tough off-road vehicles might last. The answer is probably not that long. The answer is probably not that long. That, though, is going to be it for this video. I shall, of course, link all the mods used in the description so you can download them, have a go with them yourself. But thank you very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.